I promise it's the last time I'll record it. Whatever comes out of this one is what's going to come out. So anyways, what's going on? It's Tyrell Reed, King Podcase, back on the mic with you. It's been a week since I talked to you, and I'm just excited to get back on the mic and have these conversations with my pizza people out there. I was going to say pizza. No, our pizza with my pizza people. Trying to say that one quick. Got a little bit different style of show for you today. I don't have any particular, specific lesson to teach. I just wanted to go through, some of the questions that I get from social media and some of the questions that I got from my last speaking engagement over in Orlando at Pizza Tomorrow Summit, which was dope, by the way. Again, thanks to everyone who made that happen for me. But for those that don't know, I am a pizza business coach. I'm a restaurant owner, pizzeria owner. I've been in the pizza game for 21 years. I've worked with multiple brands across the country on growth development, business consulting, team building, marketing, new store openings, all that you can think of. I wash dishes in some of the nicest kitchens you can imagine. Right, because that's my spot. I like to go to that dish pit and get to know the folks over there. But with that being said, I get questions because people want to draw from my experience and take my story or whatever advice or whatever I can give them. They just want to take that and see if it can help make their businesses better, which is exactly what I'm here for. You have questions, please email me, info@tyrellreed.com. info@tyrellreed.com. You can email me, send me your questions. I'll probably do this a bit more often too, because I think it's pretty cool to bring some of these things out, because chances are if you got a question, somebody else probably has that same question, right? So ask me your questions. We'll talk about it. If you want to be anonymous, just say that. If you want me to say your name, say that as well. But yeah, let's get into it. The first question, and I got four of them. So the first question came from Orlando, from the Pizza Tomorrow Summit. I spoke on team building, building a team that'll build your business. So the first question came in the Q&A portion of that presentation. And it says, when hiring for a new shop, how would you decide between someone with skills and experience who is lazy, or someone with no experience but has a great attitude? I asked a few more questions like, what do you mean lazy? Have you worked with them? Things like that. But essentially it came down to someone who had the skills but wasn't a team player versus someone with no experience that has a great attitude. And that's the easy one for me. I'm always going to lean towards the person with personality. Always say, hire for personality, develop the skill. Listen, we're not building rockets here. We're making pizzas. Those skills can be taught, and through repetition, they'll be improved on. Personality, being a team player, being someone that's helpful and engaging, those things aren't easily taught. So if you have that walk through your door and they're looking to join your team, I'm usually trying to find a way to make a spot for a person like that, because that's invaluable. That's invaluable. And someone with skills, we used to say this around the shop a lot too. I don't want old West Shore guys, and I'm a West Shore pizza franchise owner. And I used to say, I used to stay away from the old West Shore guys, because sometimes the old guys come in and they want to do it their way, and they don't want to learn your system and things like that. I don't got time for that. No, I got time for that shit. Just give me somebody green, willing to learn, and let me teach them the way that works here. That's always what I'm leaning towards. That's what we look for when we hire folks. So I hope that answers your question. I would hire for personality. I'm hiring a great attitude all day long. I'm staying away from somebody who is not committed to the team game. All right. Question number 2. how are you motivating the younger people on your team? That's a great question, especially now because teams are literally filled with young folks. It seems like the hiring pool now has gotten 10 years younger, and you have to stay connected with these folks with these young people, to understand what motivates them and what drives them, because it's not the same as our generation. It used to be this deal where you could just throw money at people and folks, you could get things done with just a few extra dollars or whatever. Money doesn't necessarily fix things anymore. And these young folks aren't necessarily motivated by money because they found, easier ways to make money, with gig work and, delivery, like everybody's self-employed. If you're like you an Uber driver or you DoorDash and all this crazy stuff. But what I would say is you have to find a way to connect with them on their level, meet them where they are, right? The first thing you have to do is to understand that they're living in a world that has an equal amount of pressure and stress and negativity and these, all these things that can bring you down, and the world is pretty gloomy, right, for them, because look at the things that they see and look at what's going on out there. So they have real stress, and sometimes it doesn't feel like that for us because generation to generation, things, in theory, get easier for the next generation. So it becomes easier for us to discount what the next generation is going through. So I would tell you, first thing you got to do is to tell yourself, look, these kids are going through real things. I need to connect with them. I need to connect with these kids and understand where they are and what they understand and what their expectations are. But then to answer the question, the easiest for me, what has been not the easiest way, but what has been the most beneficial way of motivating young folks is through recognition and through development, recognizing them for all of the things that they do well, and then continuing to work with them on getting to the next step or the next level of whatever it is they're trying to do. Not necessarily the next level in my pizzeria, but what are you trying to do in your life? And how can we use this job and my leadership and our environment to help you get there? We got a girl on our team. She's been going through veterinary school. So we're all over it. Like, oh, what did y'all learn today? Did you draw blood? So it's like, we're a family. So we want to see you do well. We want to see you do well in everything that you're doing, not just well here for us when you're clocked in and when you're on the clock getting paid. All right, two more and we'll get out of here. This one was a good one. This one came from Geo, and I think it's in Pennsylvania. Got this one on Instagram. You can also send me questions on Instagram too. I'm at Tyrell Reed Senior. You can follow the show on Instagram at King Podcase. This one says, how do you go about hiring a manager? I'm ready to open a second location. We have always been owner operators, but would like to hire a manager for this location. So that was an interesting one. And actually this happened a little while ago. So I responded to him on Instagram, but we'll talk about my response and what I mean by some of these things. I told him, look, I first look for someone on the team that's ready to step up. If there's no one ready, then you'll have to go external. That's always a gamble. I found the best qualified and most expensive candidates tend to come through recruiters or placement agencies. If you have the time to spend developing a manager, they'll usually stay a lot longer, see your vision more clearly, and take more ownership in a position. So what I mean by that is, if you have the time, you're in a location and you're planning to open another location, and you have the time to develop someone from location one to go run location two, or develop someone to run location one while you go run location two, that person is usually going to be more invested in the business. They're going to stay more long-term. But if you do have to go external, I've gotten better results from working with agencies, recruiters, to send me qualified candidates, because it's always a crapshoot when you're throwing salary positions out on job boards, because Anybody could apply, and you could end up actually wasting a ton of time sifting through unqualified candidates or people who, you know, apply for the wrong thing, or they're just clicking on all those things. I don't recommend going that route when looking for someone for a salary position. Work with a professional who can do that screening for you, understands your criteria, actually becomes an advocate for your company and promoting it to people who they think fit well and work well within the position. So it could be costly, but you get a much better qualified candidate out of that process, if that makes any sense. So take a look at it. But a great question. I know a lot of folks out there, you know, have these shops or these trucks, and you're ready to expand and grow. My advice is always start, you know, build the people first and grow as your team grows. Always pour into people, always develop, always keep that cycle going, so that when you're ready to expand, you're not worried about how we're going to do it or who is going to be in position here. It's like, shit, man, we got some great people here. We need to start figuring out what's next, because we might lose a great manager if we don't hurry up and build another store. That's a better position to be in my opinion. All right, last one. This one was a good one too. This came from Kate in New York, and she said, it said personal question alert. That's one. Those are always the good ones, right? Personal question alert. If you own pizzerias, how come you choose to still work in them? How come you choose to still work in them? Your story yesterday mentioned you making pizzas. All I know is when I strike it rich, I'm going to stop working and invest my money in other people's projects that align with my values and my passions. And hey, thank you for that question, Kate. And Kate and I, we've texted back and forth a couple of times. She always sends me good pizza content, and you know, she's always engaged and asking questions. So I know that she definitely can ask me anything that she wants. So I know that when she asks me something, it comes from a good place. She's pure. And what I told her, and this one I did reply on her message, but I'll talk about that here. I told her simply, I love making pizzas, number one. So she saw a story of me, or a post of me talking about making pizzas or something in the shop, and I do make pizzas in the shop. But I told her I love making pizzas. However, running a business still requires lots of attention, even with a good team. So, you know, I'm working. My partner JR and I, we work in our store. Even with a general manager in place, this is not a hands-off business. This business is made for owner operators, especially in single store like I got one store. So, you know, we're taking care of it. It's 5 miles from my house, and it's just, that's my baby. So we're gonna put every piece of attention that it requires into it, and some, because it provides quite a bit for all of us, not just me and the partners, but our staff and their families and our customers. That we got customers that come to us 5, 6, 7 days a week, you know, depending on who they are and what they're looking for. So it's important that we give it the proper attention to ensure that we're always providing quality product. We're always in a great environment for our team and for our customers. So that comes from being there. And I come from a school of don't ever let anybody hold you over a barrel. Meaning, you can quit me, but I can do your job. And not that anybody on my team is threatening to quit or doing anything like that, but there's not anything within that operation that I can't do, because I don't want to be in a position where I have to close or I can't open because somebody didn't do something or someone didn't show up. So we work because that's, you know, I work because that's my business and I'm going to take care of it. But I also work because I love making pizzas. I love engaging with the team, being there. I mean, what else am I going to do? Just sit at home all day? So I love doing this here and talking on the podcast, but I love being in that shop. And I spent years away from the shop. So now it is with a different type of passion when I get to work now and make pizzas and have fun and spend Friday night, Saturday night, whatever it is. It's different now because I spent 8 years in corporate America traveling and, learning. And I did learn a lot. I'm so grateful for the time I spent in those corporate environments because I learned a lot about the restaurant business and how to grow with scale, meaning brands that were opening hundreds and hundreds of restaurants. That is a different insight into the business. So I'm grateful for the time that I spent doing that, but I'm also more grateful for the opportunity to come back to my business and say, look, let's just focus on this, and life is very peaceful. I don't know. Making pizzas is like, it's total peace for me. But anyways, those are the 4 questions that I had today. The last one, definitely a little bit on the lighter side, but just know that I'm open to any questions. Anybody wants to know anything about what I do, how I would handle certain situations. Again, TyrellReed.com. You can book. You can send me your questions via email, info@TyrellReed.com. But also, what I was gonna say was, go to the website. If you want to talk about your business, you don't want to do it here. You want to just have a one-on-one conversation. Go to the website, book a strategy call, free 45-minute session. The calendar is open. We can chat about what you're doing with your business, how you're planning to grow, what I would do in those situations. I love making pizzas, but when I'm not making pizzas, I love talking to people about what they're doing in the pizza game and learning from people and helping people grow and learn from my experience so that we can all enjoy the successes of the pizza business. So that's my time. Pizza King Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you put the alerts on and do all the things that you got to do. Go leave a review. Apple Podcasts, give me 5 stars. Spotify, give me the reviews. YouTube, wherever you're seeing this, go check it. Go let us know how you feel about this one. And I'm looking forward to your questions. Take care.